the colonial masters, as they called them, came. The colonialists came. Some of the notes they made about the people of the southern part of Nigeria were the facts that, one, that these are very intelligent, very defiant, very strong, powerful people that they met in these areas. They were referring to Yorubas, they were referring to Igbos, they were referring to Ikore people, they were referring to Ogoni people, they were referring to Ijo people, Ishekiri people, Ibibio people, Efik people. Those are the people that they were referring to in those notes that they made, in those reports that they wrote. They were referring to our ancestors. At what point did we become so diluted, so weakened, that we cannot remember who we are? In 1956, I remember a community, an ethnic nationality, a people that I was introduced to as my people, the Ijos. And I saw a proud people. I saw people that were strong. I saw people that fought wars with machetes and then guns. I lived to see a man, Adaka Boro, declare a war, not because he knew he was ever going to win it with no guns. They had to raid police stations in Degema and other places to steal guns, according to the story. It lasted 12 days. He never, Adaka Boro, my hero, he never thought that he would win that war. But he said, we will show them today what we feel about injustice. We will show them today what we feel about injustice. We will resist them. In effect, he was saying that they were draining, they were taking from the veins of the Niger Delta people their resources. It's not me that said it, it's Adaka Boro that said it. Where is Adaka Boroism? Where are the people who claim that they are doing Adaka Boro? You're not doing Adaka Boro if you're not following Adaka Boro's thinking. If you're not following Adaka Boro's thinking, stop using Adaka Boro's name. Stop dishonoring him by claiming to be celebrating Adaka Boro. What are you celebrating? Adaka Boro refused to be a slave. What are you celebrating? Adaka Boro stood up and said, you cannot continue to take my resources from my land, impoverish me. That's who Adaka Boro was and is. So what are you celebrating? I don't want to call other people's heroes. Let them not tell me to keep quiet. So let me just stay with my own hero. But there are other people that have their own heroes. What are you doing? You're celebrating heroes. Which heroes? They're turning in their graves. People that were hung. There are Ijo people that died. People like Sonio Plambe. People that died. And so many, many, many other people. Old, that fought intellectually before independence. And then Adaka Boro that died eventually because of what was in his heart, because they knew, war or no war, that one day, if this man, Adaka Boro, can rise up with no arms before the Civil War and take a whole federal government might on because of his land, because of his resources, that now that he has joined the army after the war, How do you stop him? Those were the thinking behind Adakaboro's death. Me, I think a lot, and when I think, I hold on to it. Our people don't think anymore. People don't think. In the olden days, I used to see elders in the evening, men, women, in their little groups. They would sit down and discuss. They were discussing the community, how to forward the community. These days, what our people discuss is how to lie against each other, how to steal, how to allow strangers and join strangers to loot our collective resources and call it one Nigeria. It's horrific. What is about to happen is horrific. It is clear. It is glaring. Look at what's happening in southern Kaduna. They killed so many people. The broad daylight. Broad daylight. The world, Christian world outside of Nigeria was shouting. Our own section of Christianity. A few people were talking, yes, and yet people will attack them, yes, but they are not. The voice against the killing of Christians in Nigeria is not loud enough. From Nigeria, from inside Nigeria, from southern Nigeria, from the middle belt, from all over. It is not loud enough. That's why the world is not hearing our voices. We're not loud enough. We're whispering. People are whispering. A few days ago, somebody called me and said, "Are you a pastor? Why are you always, yes, you're a Christian. We're all Christians. Why are you always talking for?" Oh, so I should not talk about my creator. Who shall I talk about? I should not speak as a Christian. What shall I then speak as? Tell me. I believe in God. He's the uncreated creator. He created me. He knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. If I don't talk about him, who should I talk about? You? You can imagine. That was a Christian who was asking me that there is a difference between Christianity and politicians. So in that case, Christians should not go into politics. Now all the people that are Christians in politics come out, so that the children of Satan will completely take over the politics. You can see your reasoning. Look at how you reason. A Christian who is a politician was telling me this. So because of politics, you can't fear God. You have no value. Did you create yourself? Did you know when you were conceived? Were you aware? Were you aware in your mother's womb? Is God, the uncreated creator. He is who he is. The great I am, that's who he is. And then a fellow Christian is calling me to ask me, what am I talking about? What is happening to Christians? Why can't pastors talk? So pastors alone are the ones that will talk. So me, if I'm in danger now, somebody is coming to kill me because they want me to leave my religion. Were you people not in this country when Boko Haram made a statement to say that if Jonathan wants to be the president of Nigeria, he should change his religion? Are you people deaf? Were you not in this country? Were you not in this country? In this Nigeria? We are in the organization of Islamic Commission, Islamic Union, Islamic anything. We are in that organization. Are all of us Muslims? Why should Nigeria be in that group? Why should we be in that group? I'm a Christian. You people can't see anything wrong in that because you're politicians. You can't talk. Because you're politicians, you can't talk. You're sitting down there, they're changing the narrative. Gowon is not one of my favorite persons. I respect him, he's an elder, but he's not one of my favorite persons. But he's not the one that took Nigeria into the organization of Islamic countries. He's not. It was Babangida. And yet, politicians are sitting down there allowing these false narratives to go. And when Christian organizations get up and say, no, you can't say this, the very politicians are the ones now that are differentiating themselves from their religion because of politics. God is seeing all of us. Of that one. Tomorrow, you people will go, you politicians, you go and do Thanksgiving in church, from one church to the other, from one place to the one arm of the church to the other. You will be doing Thanksgiving. You will say God gave you power. You will say God called you. So if you want to separate Christianity from religion, why did God call you? Why did God call you then? If you say God called you to enter politics, and then when you got there, he now told you to now talk about the God, not to talk about the God that called you. So why did he call you? Yes. Why? So if you say that you're going to separate politics from Christianity, there are people who are not separating their religion from politics. I hope you're aware of that. I hope you're aware of that. Politicians, governors, I love my community. I love my ethnic nationality. I love Calabari people. I love River State people, all the people of River State, of all the different ethnic nationalities. I love them. I love Niger Delta region. I love humanity in this order. But let me tell you, if you don't love yourself, nobody is going to love you. Nobody is going to love you. It is very clear, it is glaring what is happening in this country. It has been, it is already, it is standing, it is so clear. And yet, politicians are thinking about the next election. What election? Is it not people who are alive that will vote for you? Is it not people who are alive that will run for election? Is it dead people that run for election? Or is it dead people? Okay, in Nigeria, dead people do vote. Dead people do vote. That's a country. But you can see clearly that there is not going to be any. Who told you there is going to be 2023 election? You can see what's happening in Edo. That's a glaring sign for you. And that's probably the last election in this country. Look, I believe and I stand firmly on whom I am. When I wake up in the morning, unless God Almighty changes me, because I'm not going to change myself. So unless the person who made me what I am changes me, I will still wake up like this tomorrow. That means I will still wake up an Abonima indigene. I will still wake up a Calabari daughter. I will still wake up a River State daughter, an Ijaw daughter, a Niger Delta daughter. That's how I wake up, in that order. I will still be who I am. My father's daughter, my mother's daughter. I will still be who I am. My children will still be who they are. They will not belong to another person. They will continue to belong to me. So if that then be the case, can't you see? Am I a politician? No. Then why am I talking? I'm talking because what I'm saying has to be said. I want to be counted. I want to be counted. I want to be remembered for the right things that I said, for the truth that I stood up for. At the end of the day, if you're standing on the road, no, if you're standing in front of your house, right now as I'm talking, as you're listening, if you are standing in front of your house and you see a vehicle coming directly at you, you know that that vehicle is heading for where you're standing. Are you going to be standing there to say, it's my house? Is that what you would do? No, you will not. You will jump out of the way. Yes. Why will you jump out of the way? Because you don't want the vehicle to hit you. Why? Because if the chances are if the vehicle hits you, it will hurt you, it will maim you, or at worst, the person, God forbid, the enemy will die, not you. But you are still able to discuss politically and not take this scenario into account and not be able to see this scenario that I have just painted. So if you will save yourself, then when it reaches a point, and it is very close, it is not a matter of God forbid. Yes, God forbid. But what is God forbidding? God will forbid what you don't want. If we're saying that God should forbid, yes, God will forbid. Then what is he forbidding? You have to tell him what is forbidding. You yourself have to know what God is forbidding. What is God forbid? You just sit down and say, God forbid. And you carry on, you see all these dangers around you, and you just say, God forbid. The danger is already you can see it, then you say, God forbid. How much more, how long will this foolishness last? How long will this foolishness last? Turkey was a Christian country before now. But now the tables are turned. It's the other way around. Churches don't exist in Turkey. I think the last one, I don't know what they've done with it, was in the news recently. So whether you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, the plan is against everything and just for one thing. That's the plan. Those who have ears for parable will hear it. The plan is against everything and for one thing. And people will say, God forbid. And people will say, they're no fit. How they no fit? What are you doing that they will not fit? It's already there. Other people have been through it. And they are telling their sorrowful tales till today. We saw it coming years ago. But politicians said no, they want to do politics. They were blind, they were deaf. In 2012, 2011, I was asked on a program in a television station in Lagos that what do I think is the real problem? What are the problems of Nigeria? The first thing I said is religion. It was the government of the day that countered it and said, no, the problem of Nigeria is not religion. Today, where is it? Today, what's the problem of Nigeria? What are we talking about today? My brothers and my sisters, there is nobody, including me and you, that will choose to die just like that. Everybody wants to be alive. Everybody wants to be alive. That's why if you're sick, you look to take a tablet that will make you well, whether it is native medicine you use, or whether it is chemical, doctors you go to, or to use native medicine, or whatever the case may be. You do these things because you want to stay alive, because you want to get well. Why do you want to get well? You want to get well because you want to stay alive. It's the same thing here. When it gets to a point, people will begin to save themselves. At that point, a few will be saved. A lot will be in danger. Can we not learn what happened to the Jews? How many people died? Can we not learn what happened during the Civil War? How many millions of people died? Unfortunately, the majority, a very high number, millions and millions of the people that died in the Nigerian war were from a particular ethnic nationality, the Igbos. A few other people from the old Eastern region died. But mainly, if you want to tell yourself the truth, that war was against a particular ethnic nationality. And what was the reason? The same thing we're talking about today, injustice. It's not fair. It's not fair. If we cannot live together, is it by force? It's not by force. It's not by force. But must we? What is the reason? I don't understand. Truly, I don't understand. The inability of any human being, whether you are a fisherman, or whether you're a son, or whether you are a businessman, a billionaire, through whatever means, I don't understand the pretense that we actually don't like our lives. Is it that the people in southern Nigeria, is it that the people in the Niger Delta, is it that the people of the riverine area, of the inland, is it that their forefathers were able to fight wars, to maintain the spaces that we have today? My people moved from Elem Kalabari to Abonima, some went to Buguma, some went to Bakana, some went to Tombia, from a particular place. We're still the same people, but with different names. They were still Kalabari people. But we moved. We fought wars. Our forefathers fought wars. Even brethren fought wars, just for the sake of surviving. Nembe people fought Kalabari people fought Boni people fought Kalabari, Wakreke people fought Kalabari. We're the same Niger people. Why these wars? It boiled down to survival. It boiled down to survival of a family, a name. And then eventually we were able to sort our problems out. We still remain the Niger people. But we had differences which at the end of the day sadly led to wars. Maybe that was the lesson that we learned. So now, are we saying that today, the people today, the youths today, cannot see? Even if the youths cannot see because they didn't come to meet and all they know is what they are experiencing today, there is also that thinking. There are people my age that saw pre-independence, people that were born in the early 50s, that knew what Nigeria was like. Your community, I knew what my community was like. When I was 4 years old, I knew. Before independence, I knew what my community was like. Today, my community cannot, the chiefs cannot rise up and speak for us. It is just to answer the title. Our forefathers fought for us that we can have Abonima. We didn't fight that war. Our forefathers fought. Your forefathers fought for you to have wherever you are today, whether you're Ikwere, whatever you are, whether you're Ogoni. Somebody maintains that place for you. It is like my people will say, Omnebosake, at your leg time. Omnebosake bobo. And kalabari fawari. Because you're doing politics. Because you're in politics. It is during your time that your children or their grandchildren will not know who they are. It's a shame. Our forefathers died to give us this heritage. We're wasting their lives, their death, their capacity, their willingness to protect what they own and what they died for. We're wasting it. We're making nonsense of it because we're too weak to protect it. And we're too weak to hand it over intact to our children. All what we're doing is preparing our children for the unthinkable. God forbid. On that note, I thank you very much for tuning in. And it's 10:58. I thank you. I've spoken the truth as I know it, as I see it, as I feel it, as I understand it. This is my truth based on what is going on in Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless you. And next week.